you want me to just launch straight into the questions?
Yeah, probably. It'd be better.
Yeah, well, we've got there's been a good mix of questions coming actually. And so to ease ourselves in and warm up, we've had some good ones about like the team and how you get on. So careful answering these ones. So Willow, who's age 9, so she's in the under 10s, wants to know, so Lauren, we'll go with you first. Willow's asked, are you all friends when not playing football? And who is the joker in the team?
Yeah, I think we're all friends. We seem to be. At the minute, because of lockdown and everything, obviously we can't spend time outside of training with each other. But yeah, I think that'll change, obviously, when everything's sorted out. Joker-wise, nobody's funny. No. Suppose Liv Wilson's all right. She can be a little bit funny, but I wouldn't say she's mega funny. Yeah.
Do you have anything? Nick, you can say anyone that particularly makes you laugh?
I'd probably have to say Kennedy, but she does it on like a bit on the down low. I don't think
she's
funny. Yeah.
It's always good.
Yeah, I was thinking Kennedy or Jess. Jess is just.
Oh, Jess.
She just makes me laugh in warm up. She's just like on another planet sometimes. She won't mind me saying that. No, I love her to bits, but she's always just making me smile, and she's a bit ditzy, but she does. She just cracks me up.
Yeah, I've been pitch side and watched a few of our games next to Jess, and she has come out with some comments.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, Matt always says she's on another planet, doesn't he?
Yeah, I think he called her a space cadet one game.
Yeah.
Plus standard that day. Cool. So Tilly, who's age 9, so Nick, will go with you for this one first. She said, how do you deal with negative comments about women playing football?
That's a great question actually, because you see quite a lot of negative comments, like especially on social media. And it is pretty bad, because I think women's football has taken off now in the last couple of years. We'll never be the same as the men's footballers, but we're certainly getting there. And when you do see them negative comments, it's really frustrating, because we all know how good we are as players, and like it's not nice to see. But I think the best way is just to keep playing football and keep working hard on the pitch, and and then that'll just show them in the end that we can achieve things just like the men's can. And but yeah, it's not nice to see, but you've just got to put it to the back of your mind and let the football do the talking, really.
Yeah, and have you noticed a definite shift in sort of the perception of women's football? And I think you can see it on social media. And I remember I did an interview with Matt B, and it was around the Women's World Cup, and it was the fact that it got picked up, so obviously BBC broadcasting, and it really like elevated it a bit. Do you think it's going in the right direction?
Yeah, I think that World Cup was massive, and the more broadcasting that they do, they put it on BBC and on Sky, like people can watch it from the home, and they can actually see that we're not just some little kids trying to play football. Like we can compete at this level, and we work our socks off every week in training, and it's just as big as the men's, if not now. And it's great to see more and more supporters tuning into these games on the television, like at the World Cups and everything. So it's great that we're getting a following now.
Yeah, definitely. Lauren, do you have anything to add on that question?
100% agree with Nick there. Well, both questions. One, you kind of just need to ignore the negative comments and just crack on, keep doing what you're doing, because a lot of the time the person hasn't even watched a women's game. So they come off the back of other comments and just try and get to us in a way. So it's just better to ignore and do your thing. And yeah, since the Women's World Cup, it's grown massively. And I just didn't think it's going to keep growing really. So the younger players coming through now, you were a bit different when I was younger. You couldn't really forge your career in women's football when I was younger, but now kids today, they can go on and do this professionally. This can be their full-time job. So as much as they can do it, just keep going at it.
Yeah,
you can make a massive career out of it, as you can see from like Steph Horton, people like that.
Yeah, definitely. Olivia, would you say a sort of similar thing in terms of your experience as well?
Yeah, definitely. I think you've just got to prove the doubters wrong, really. Like when I was at Man United, I had to leave because there was no women's team at that time. And I think now there's more women's teams coming into the game. Like the men's side is trusted in the women's side and putting a lot of money into it now. So I think it's getting a lot bigger, and you've just got to prove anyone that doubts you, just got to prove them wrong by keep on playing.
Definitely. Well, I think that would be good inspirational words for for Tilly who asked that question. Okay, so next, we'll go with you again, Olivia, for this one. So we've got Imogen, who's age 11, so she'll play for the under-12s. She said, in all the teams you've played in from being a child, have you always played in the position that you have for Burnley? And if you have played in a different position, why did you change?
I've always played as centre-back. I think when I was younger, I got kind of just put there, and ever since I think it comes with like my height as well, and like my physicality. I'm suited to being more of a defender, but I would love to play up front, but I don't think I'll ever get that chance.
Never know.
Nick, what about you? Have you always played the position you played?
When I was growing up, I was like a right winger. I think when I was like in the 7-a-sides, I was like a right midfielder. But I'm not probably one of the fastest. So when we changed to like 11-a-side, I got moved into the centre of midfield, so I didn't have to keep sprinting up and down the wing. But yeah, I think I found my feet there, and I've always been a centre midfielder, especially when we changed to 11-a-side.
Yeah, and if you could play a different position, are there any that can catch your eye?
I think I like to be a full back. I don't know, I just like to be a right back one day. I think they've got I don't know, you can just like see the whole picture, and you can get time on the ball, you can go forward, you can get back, and contribute to some goals as well. So we'll see what Matt thinks about that one.
He knows. He knows what he's got going on in his head.
Yeah.
Lauren, what about you? Always been a keeper?
I've played everywhere, mate. You wouldn't have thought it, but
No way.
Yeah, I was striking it.
No.
Yeah, seriously. When I first played at Burnley, when I was
Oh.
under 12s back in the day, I started off as a striker. Then I've been right back. I've played right wing. I've played everywhere, and then I ended up in there. Found out I was all right at it. So yeah, played everywhere.
Interesting. Okay, so Ella, who is age 13, has said, where do you see yourself in 3 years' time? I'm assuming she means on the pitch, and we're not just getting really personal, but maybe Ella can let us know if not. So if we go with you, Nick, in 3 years' time, where would you like to see yourself, the team?
I'd still obviously love to be at Burnley. Like, I really enjoy myself at Burnley. We've got a great team, and I think we've got enough quality in the team to, aim for that championship. If we can get promoted out of this league in the next couple of seasons, and I'd really love to be a part of this team in that championship, and playing full time, and getting the crowd in and everything and all that is, it's going to be massive. So we certainly have the potential to do that. And I really hope in the next couple of years we can get in that league.
Yeah, that's something to aim for. How about you, Olivia? How about in 3 years' time?
Yeah, I agree with Nick. I'd love to still be at Burnley in 3 years' time, because I only joined in the previous season, and I've never enjoyed football as much. So I'd love to stay with this team, because I think we all have the potential as well to progress higher up the leagues, because we've got an amazing group of players, and the coaching staff are all really good as well. So I think as a whole, we do have the potential to push on.
Lauren, how about you?
Yeah, same. Obviously, I'm a little bit older than you guys, so like I'm hoping to have like another 4 seasons playing football. Fingers crossed. So yeah,
you're not leaving those logs.
Yeah, you're on a bit now, Nick.
No.
So I'm hoping to have at least 4 seasons. So yeah, I'm hoping we'll be pushing. Be in the championship. Fingers crossed, and hopefully pushing for the Super League. I feel like we should really aim high. Like the girls said, we've got a great group of girls and a lot of talent and a lot of young talent coming through as well. So yeah, aim high. I think we should no doubt be in the Championship and aiming for the Super League.
Yeah, definitely. And I think what's interesting in sort of touching on that is, what do you think from sort of your experience playing in this league? Do you think there's a perception of Burnley of Burnley FC Women in the sense of like what our aims are or the style of football that we play? Do you think that is kind of, from the outsiders, everybody would expect that's what we're thinking?
What, with style of play?
Well, yeah. Do you think there's a perception like of Burnley when they, when they're doing their like training and training if they're going to play us on a Sunday? Do you think there's one, a perception of Burnley and how we play, and two, do you think from outsiders that's what they would think that we want to do, that we want to aim high? Like, is there an ambition within the club?
Well, I think going with your first question, I think people see us as a very defensive side. I think it's common knowledge that we do focus on being defensive, part of the bus or whatever you want to call it. So a lot of the teams in our league, they see us that way. As for like aiming high and things like that, I think a lot of teams underestimate us and think we've kind of blagged our way into this league somehow. But we've worked really, really hard to get where we are, and we are going to work even harder to get higher. So, yeah, that's my answer, really. I feel like they underestimate us, the underdogs.
Do you find that like almost spurs you on a bit more? There's something quite interesting about going into a league, isn't there, and going into games where you're classed as the underdog and then there being an upset.
Oh, yeah.
Do you find
100%. Like, we got promoted, didn't we? I can't remember. When we were at the first season, it's gone mental with everything being like stopped. So the first season we got promoted and went into the league below us. What's that one?
Division 1.
Yeah, Division. Let's go it.
Yeah.
And then we got promoted again, didn't we? So everybody, I don't think people expected us to get promoted twice on the bounce. Yeah. So again, the underdog thing, it really motivates me. People underestimating us, people thinking that we shouldn't be where we are today. It really motivates me, and I think hopefully it spurs the rest of the team on the underdog mentality. But it seems to have done the past few seasons. Yeah, you can see that from where we are now.
Yeah, it's just an interesting one because you pick up that sense. Okay, so Ella's second question, she added another one in, which is very topical and timely, is how are you staying fit during lockdown? So we'll go to you, Olivia, with that one, please.
Well, from the club, we are getting like 4 sessions a week that we need to complete and send in. And that motivates me to do the sessions because you know that you've got to do them and send them in. So I've been doing the 4 sessions a week, and then if I finish those sessions, I'll also ask for another one just to do over the weekend. But before we got them, like in the first lockdown and stuff, I was doing like 5k runs most of the day, like most days, because I prefer to do like long distance running than sprints. So that's how I'm staying fit, really.
Nick, how about you?
Yeah, I think Liv touched on it then. It's hard to keep yourself motivated, especially when you don't have like a date that you're going to come back to training for. But with these sessions that we have been, instructed to do, we've been given like 4 sessions a week that we need to try and complete. That does like spur you on a bit, and right, I am going to go today and I am going to go tomorrow. But like Liv said, yeah, those are really good, and it's like quite a bit of variety. So there's some long distance in there, and there's some like interval training, which is really good. But in like the first lockdown, I bought myself a bike because I was getting a bit bored of running every day. So I bought a bike, and like most of the day I was out cycling. We had such nice weather, so I think that really helped me as well, and took a bit of the pressure off my knees from running on the roads.
Yeah, have you found that the difference between sort of the first lockdown was in the summertime, now we're in January and the weather's, well, it can be quite extreme in terms of like the ice and the snow and the cold and stuff. Do you find that does affect the exercise that you do outside because of the time of year?
Yeah, massively. I think you get home from work and it's like dark and you just don't want to go, but you know, something inside you as an athlete, it just kicks in and you just, you know, push yourself to go, and you always feel better after you've worked out. And it's nice to see the girls are like, you know, doing their exercises and can have like a mini competition in the team really, who's got the best times and stuff like that.
Yeah, a bit of a competition always helps. Lauren, how about you in terms of lockdown?
Yeah, I mean, I'm still working full time as well. I think Nick is as well. So it's difficult, especially with like the dark mornings, dark nights. It's difficult to motivate yourself to go do something. But as long as you're doing something, I'd say. So whether it's a run, whether it's a walk, I do like little circuits in the house. Whether it's a stretching one, sometimes I'll just do a stretching one, or like an ab session, or just a bit of a cardio workout in the house if I don't want to go outside. But I mean, weekends is better for getting all your fitness done, well, for myself especially. But I'm not a long distance runner at all. But I've been trying to do my 5Ks, and I got to admit I'm not a fan. But I do the pitch sprints rather than the 5K. Plus, that helps me more as a keeper with the quit and aerobic training.
Yeah, that's good. No, it's good to know. I'm sure that's what because that question came through a few times. I think with the juniors again, with the lockdown not playing, I think they were very interested to know what sort of stuff you guys will be doing. But it's a bit of a case of everybody in the same boat, so it's interesting for them to know. And do you find that in terms of, because it's all well and good in lockdown, kind of keeping yourself fit, but do you miss the structure of training sessions and not only for the social aspect for actual kind of training and working towards a game at the weekend and having that routine? Do you find that hard not having that at the moment?
Oh yeah, 100%. Because the training I do as well, I can't do it on my own, so it's very specific, isn't it? With goalkeeper training, you have to kind of do it with the goalkeeper or have somebody provide you with service or something. I've got to do it on my own. I've been doing like tennis balls against the wall and stuff like that, but that's the only reaction kind of training I've been doing. But yeah, it's to have your routine set. Like we train a lot, don't we really? Like it's Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday, and then a game on Sunday. It's like there is the motivation for when we get back, but like I think it was Nick who said we don't actually know a date when we're going back to training, but to have it on a Sunday every week is our focus all week is that game. So it's so difficult we're going from one extreme to another, and I just miss it like crazy, really. I was speaking to Matt yesterday about just getting back into it, but I think even Matt's missing us, and that says it all.
It says something when Matt's whining for everybody as well. It's serious. Would you say the same? Would you say the same thing in terms of just that there's a real appetite from you all to get back training together and getting into the routine and structure of the league again?
Yeah, definitely. I think as well, I prefer to be football training than running 5Ks on the road. That's the first thing. But no, the structures, like, because you just know what you're doing every day. Like during lockdown, there's not even much to do during the day. And if we had training, it's just something to look forward to, but we don't even have that to look forward to. And it's the not knowing as well when we'll be back. Like this could be going on till July for all we know.
Yeah, it's like the mental side as well. Like if you know you've got a long day at work and then you're like, oh, at least I've got football training tonight and I'll see everyone, and it just makes you happy knowing you've got some at the end of your day to go to training. And like the mental side for me, like I miss everybody and I just miss football. It's hard.
Yeah, no, you can fully see. Okay, so if we go on to Alexia, who plays for the under-12s, and she's asked, it's a good question actually, what impact does rivalry have on a match, and do you approach it differently? So Olivia, we'll go to you for that question.
So I think, well, in our league, we class like one game as a big rivalry, and that's the Fylde game, just because it's close. But I usually approach every game the same. Even if it's a derby, I don't think I should approach it any differently than I would a normal game. But I think as well, obviously there is some big tackles in games like that, and I think that can have an impact. And I think when we go into those games, we always need to win that first challenge just to show like we are here and we're here to win. Because I think in games like that as well, we will go in as the underdogs, and I think teams like that might think that they can walk all over us when realistically they can't. And so I think in like the first 5-10 minutes, we need to show them that we're there and we're here to win as well.
Yeah, stamp your authority early on.
Yeah.
Squash any preconceptions they might have in their minds. That's true.
Yeah.
And how about you, Lauren? Would you say the same? Any like
same as Liv, really. Yeah, like a lot of us have friends who play in different teams as well, so it's trying not to let that get in your head and take every game exactly the same. I think like your warm up needs to be the same and have the same mindset on every single game. Or else it is going to affect you. It does affect you, but yeah, go in hard. First few challenges, obviously outfield players, and yeah. Just let them know that we are in this game, and yeah, we're just going to treat it like any other game.
Yeah. Nick, would you say similar as well?
Yeah, definitely. I think I remember one coach telling me just play the game and not the occasion. You know, for like cup finals, derbies, and things like that, because a lot of players can just get just so hyped up with all the, you know, the outside of not just the game and everything else. Or it's a derby, it's a final. But like Lauren and Liv said, you know, we treat every game just as importantly, and what all that matters is that we win. Fylde are probably one of our biggest rivals. I think they've been in the league probably 5, 6, 7 years now. Obviously, we're quite new to the league, so it is important we get bragging rights for our little area. But yeah, but definitely, you know, each game we just focus on getting the win, no matter who we're playing.
Yeah, on whatever occasion. That's a good quote, actually. And we'll stick with you, Nick, for Alexa's second question, which was, how do you let teammates know that you're in space without making the opposition aware? So we'll be careful in how much we give away, considering going out, but we can give some ideas because Alexia's interested.
No, that's a great question. I think it comes with like body language. I think the more you train with each other, you tend to pick up on how a person likes the ball. Do they like it into feet? Do they want it in behind? Do they want it long? And all these little like muscle memories, if you will, like start to ingrain in your brain. And if Liv's on the ball, like, you know, she's got a great pass in her, and I know where that ball's going from Liv. And you just, the more you start to train with each other and pick up on these little cues, I think you just build this connection with each other. But yeah, also like your body language, and even something simple as just pointing. You don't have to shout for the ball, just point it. Do you want it to feet or in behind?
Yeah, it's true. It's like understanding, isn't it? Would you say the same, Olivia, in terms of from your experience when you in letting people know without not necessarily shouting and make it really obvious?
Yeah, I think the hand signals is a big one because you're showing them where you want the ball as well. But I also think as well, obviously, the training sessions leading up to the game, we know how we're going to play and we know like where we want to play on the pitch as well. So I think that gives us like help as well, knowing like players knowing what areas of the pitch to be in for when we want to pass it, because obviously all teams are different, so we're going to play differently against all the different teams.
Yeah, game's different. So, Lauren, coming to you, reflecting on the league season, so whilst it's up in the air where we are now, how would you reflect on the games that we've played so far, and what would you say about the performances?
I think we started off very well. We were away at Sunderland, was it, for first game, girls? Yeah, away at Sunderland. And we won that game. and then we were at home, I think, to Huddersfield. And so we started off with 2 wins, 2 big wins. I mean, it's been a little bit hit and miss, but I think that is purely because of the consistency. We haven't had a consistent training. We haven't had consistent games. It's been, like you said, up in the air as the league. But it's been good. It's not been horrendous, but I feel like we could do better. But again, it's just the consistency of stuff. And I think it'll come. As soon as we start training back, the girls are up for it. We're going to be in the right mindset. As soon as we know what's happening with the league as well, I think we'll be in a good place to continue. Or if it's focusing on getting ready for next season, which it could be as well, I think we've set ourselves up in a good position. Matt always says it's that extra 5% is what we need on game day, and I think we're in a good position.
Yes, it's that momentum is key, isn't it? And if you can't, if it's so sort of stop, start, and the unknown, it can really like affect you sort of mentally, and then on game days. So. Yeah,
definitely. Yeah, well, the girls have handled it well. Like everybody's handled it so well, and like keeping the fitness up now is only just it's going to help. It's going to benefit us when we get started again. So yeah, to answer the question properly, I feel like we've done really well, but we can do better.
Yeah, that's fair rating. How would you describe it, Olivia? Would you say sort of similar, looking back on the games played so far?
Yeah, I think obviously as a young player, I've learnt so much already this season. As well that I can take into next season, but I think it's been a bit up and down. Obviously the breaks haven't helped us at all, but then we can't really make excuses. Like some games we just haven't been good enough and we need to be better, and we've spoke about that as a group, and we know going forward that we will be better. And I think this break can help that as well by giving us a chance to like just regroup, even get our fitness back going again, and then we'll start again. Probably, I think it might be for next season now, but we know what we need to do to make it even better for next season.
Yeah. And were there any highlights for you? Was there any game in particular you played this season that sort of stands out that you think fondly of?
I think it has to be the first game of the season, because I think we won, but we played well. Like it wasn't just one of those. I know it was 2-1, but we didn't just scrape it. Like we deserved to win that game, because the performance showed that as well. Because I think their goal, it was a very good free kick that they scored, and they didn't break us apart or anything like that. But as a whole team performance, Sunderland definitely stood out for me.
And Sunderland was a huge first game. I remember when the fixtures came out, looking, and it was like first going, because they sort of ran away with the league in the sense the previous season, and were unlucky not to be playing in the championship. So to be drawn them first away as well, it was like, oh wow, that's starting the season.
With the restrictions, we all thought we were going to get filed just because it was local, and then when we saw Sunderland, we were like, oh, okay. But obviously we just prepared for it like we would prepare for any other game, and it worked.
It did, yeah. Good start. Nick, how about you? What would you say? Your thoughts on the season?
On the season overall, like Liv said, it has been a bit up and down. I think we've won 3, drawn 1, and lost 3. So it's not, it's not terrible. But I think the games that we have lost have just been like fine margins, like whether it's just a lapse in concentration or just tiny little things that if we can cut them out going forward, then, I know that the girls will just pick it up and we can start winning games. And like you said, it's the momentum really. We need to get back into the swing of things, and just the way the world is at the minute, it's just so stop-start. But yeah, we're all looking forward to getting back, and I know this group of girls, we're more than capable of winning this league.
Yeah, fingers crossed. Brighter days are ahead. Okay, and so the last question that we've had come through. So if we go to you, Lauren, what advice would you offer young girls to help them get to the standard of play that you play at now?
Well, you've got so much more opportunity now in women's football, whether it's like you can go to college now and do it. So yeah, just take every opportunity you can. It's hard on this. It's a hard question because I feel like I never got the opportunities myself.
I know. I'm
You know
so
what I mean?
jealous.
I am. I feel like I should have been born 10 years ago.
When I was at high school, first year of high school, I was like, right, so where's the girls' football team? And the PE teachers told me that there was no girls' football team at this high school. And then I started a petition going round, and we actually got one going. But now in these high schools, I bet it's just like, normal just to have a girls' football team in every high school. So I'm a bit jealous, and I wish I was 10 years younger, and all the opportunities now for the young girls, it's just there to grab with both hands. And if you put the effort in and the hard work, then yeah, the sky's the limit.
It actually is. It's a full-on career in women's football now, which is absolutely amazing. I think even Burnley have got a college course on it now for girls, which an academy or something. Which it's great.
Yeah, it has really come on like leaps and bounds, hasn't it? So it's probably a very exciting time for some of the girls that have sent in questions. Like, you've got your under 10s and stuff. Think about what they've got ahead of them and what's in place now that wasn't necessarily in place. Like when you
they've got so much. Like Nick said, she didn't even have a girls' football team at a high school. I know I didn't have one at my primary school. I played with the boys in primary school, which probably these girls did as well. Well, maybe not Liv. But,
Liv's a baby.
Boys in high school.
You played with the boys in high school as well?
Yeah, we played a tournament and they played me on the wing actually.
Did they? Yes, Liv.
Would you
sorry.
Oh, sorry. I was going to say, would you, in answer to the question, would you have any advice? Is it similar to what Lauren and Nick have said about there being more opportunities now, or anything to inspire the younger generation?
Yeah, I think you've just got to keep working hard. Like, you won't get anywhere without hard work, and also take any advice that you get from any coaches, because that will help them a lot if they're going to get some opportunities going forward as well. So just keep working hard, really.
Yeah, it's an important message to give them as well. Cool. So that's all of the questions that we've had time for. So thank you very much. Fingers crossed that the world starts to get back to some form of normality very soon, and we'll wait to see what the outcome is with our league. But it will be good to be back playing, to be back at Padium, to be back experiencing a match day and everything that comes with it as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, thanks very much, guys.
Thank you. Good questions.